Last year, the Big 12 added 4 teams: BYU, Cincinnati, Houston, and UCF. Those 4 teams combined to go 18-31 and just 8-28 in conference play. The UCF Knights were the only team of those 4 to even reach the postseason. Now the Big 12 is adding 4 more teams, as Arizona, Arizona State, Colorado, and Utah are set to join the conference to form a 16-team Big 12 conference. But now the question is, how will those 4 teams do? Will they fare better than the 4 that joined last year? That's what we're here to break down today. So welcome back to the Gridiron Expert, guys. We're so glad you could join us. As always, please continue to like, comment, subscribe, share our videos, and of course, check out everything down in the description below. That includes our website, thegridironexpert.com. That includes our expert picks on our website. It's right around that time. We're getting close to expert pick season, where we've beat out over 80% of the national handicappers each of the last 6 years. So if you want some of the best college football spread picks in the country, this is the place for you. Go check it out. All that information is down in the description, as well as our mailing address to send us some of your team's gear. We want to represent your team. We want you to become a member of our GE Nation. Send us some of your gear. It'll be represented in every single Gridiron Expert video as we continue to expand our GE Nation from coast to coast. So the Big 12 newcomers, guys: Arizona, Arizona State, Colorado, and Utah. Today we are ranking them. We are ranking them from first to worst. Who is the best team of the 4 new teams? Who is the worst team of the 4 new teams? And how will they fare in 2024? We're not predicting games today. Those prediction seasons are right around the corner. All the more reason to subscribe and hit that notification button. But we'll go ahead and start with the rankings, and we'll go from the top down. Won't leave you in too much suspense. Coming in at number 1, give me the Utah Utes. I love this team. I love Utah, and I love what Kyle Whittingham continues to do year in and year out with the Utes. Last year, to me, was a phenomenal coaching job. To have horrible quarterback play all year long and still win 8 games is pretty phenomenal. Cam Rising gets hurt at the end of the 2022 season in the Rose Bowl. Doesn't play at all in 2023, and yet the Utes still go 8-5 behind the strength of their defense and behind the strength of their offensive line. That's pretty remarkable. But now coming into 2024, Cam Rising is healthy. Brant Keithy, one of his top pass catchers, is healthy. They have a very solid defense as always. They're going to bully you in the trenches as always. They have elite home field advantage, one of the best home field advantages in all of college football, and they have one of the better coaches in all of college football in Kyle Whittingham. He's led the Utes to at least 8 wins every year since 2018, with the exception of that COVID season. Utah gets to host Baylor. That's a non-conference game, I should add. But they host Baylor. They do have to go to Oklahoma State, but they get to host 2 Big 12 contenders in Arizona and Iowa State. They've got to come to Salt Lake City. Trap game on the road at UCF, but the schedule is very favorable. They've got one of the best coaches in the business. They're going to have their veteran quarterback returning. They are a Big 12 title contender in their first year in the conference. Coming in at number 2, give me Arizona. The Wildcats, like Utah, come in. All these teams come in from the Pac-12, but they are, like Utah, a Big 12 title contender. 10-3 last year, ended the season on a 7-game winning streak. But they now have a new head coach. That's the only thing that could really derail Arizona's season. Tons of momentum coming into the year. A team that was really, really young last year and greatly exceeded expectations. Gonna be more experienced this year. They've got all this hype, but Jedd Fisch jumps ship, surprisingly, goes to Washington to replace Kalen DeBoer, and kind of at a loss for what to do, Arizona hires Brent Brennan from San Jose State. Brennan's an offensive mind, and that's going to go well with Noah Fafita, Tetairoa McMillan, and what's going to be one of the best quarterback wide receiver duos in the country. But Brennan is just 34-48 as a head coach with the Spartans. Granted, he did go 26-19 over the last 4 years with 3 bowl appearances. So we kind of started to hit his stride a little bit over these last few years with the Spartans. But we mentioned Fafita, over 2,800 yards, 25 touchdowns, 6 interceptions last year. McMillan, over 1,400 yards, 10 touchdowns last year. And this team, if the coaching staff can rally them, if the coaching staff doesn't screw anything up, is going to continue to get better week in and week out. The Wildcats have to go to Kansas State, to Utah, to BYU, to UCF, to TCU. The road slate is absolutely brutal, but there's a very good chance Arizona could go undefeated at home. Their toughest home game is against West Virginia. So if they can win just a handful of those games on the road that we just mentioned, this is a team that not only will flirt with a Big 12 title appearance, but maybe flirt with a New Year's Six Bowl game. And if things really go their way, maybe flirt with the 12-team playoff. Coming in at number 3, Colorado. Give me Colorado over Arizona State. The Buffaloes return to the Big 12 for the first time since 2010. They left the Big 12 to go to the Pac-12, and now things are, it's funny how things work. They're back in the Big 12. 4-8 last year for Colorado in year one under Deion Sanders. This team started off 3-0. They were nationally ranked and then went just 1-8 down the stretch with 5 one-possession losses. So just a few go their way, and Colorado's a bowl team, but they fell just short. Shedeur Sanders, of course, does return at quarterback, and he's an elite quarterback. He's very, very talented, very, very good. I put him up there as one of the better quarterbacks in the country. Travis Hunter returns as one of the better athletes in the entire country. He literally can do it all. But the question for Colorado, has the offensive line gotten better? Has the defense gotten better? A defense that ranked 127th out of 130 teams, giving up over 453 yards per game last year. And lastly, does Colorado have the leadership, not just within the coaching staff, but within their players? Is this a team that's going to have their focus on the field or their focus elsewhere on things off of the field? That's a big concern here. The mindset in Boulder. Colorado has the talent to reach the postseason, but can they do it? They have a tough schedule. They cannot overlook North Dakota State in week 1. They cannot overlook the road game at Nebraska and at Colorado State, who nearly beat the Buffaloes last year. Those are their first 3 games of the year. Do not rule out the possibility that Colorado could start 0-3, maybe even 1-2. Then you get into conference play, and they've got to go to UCF, they got to go to Arizona, they got to go to Kansas, and they get to play the top dogs in Kansas State, Utah, and Oklahoma State as well. Very, very, very tough schedule. If Colorado hasn't fixed some of the issues that plagued them last year, it'll be another rough, losing season for Deion Sanders in Boulder. And then finally, guys, out of the 4 newcomers, Arizona State comes in last. This is still a team that has a long ways to go. A very young team, and it's a young team that starts with their head coach, Kenny Dillingham, one of the youngest head coaches in the entire country. The Sun Devils went just 3-9 last year. They went 3-9 the year before, so it's been a very, very, very rough stretch for Arizona State fans. They had 3 straight one-possession losses to California, Colorado, and Washington. Nearly took down the national runner-up. You win all 3 of those, and Arizona State's going bowling, and Kenny Dillingham does a phenomenal job. So the talent is there. I think the coaching is there, but they're still a ways away from really becoming contenders in this conference. They've got to find themselves a quarterback. Jaden Rashada looked like he might be the guy that he decided to transfer out to go to Georgia. They do add Jeff Sims, transferring in from Nebraska, Georgia Tech, Nebraska, now Arizona State. Sam Levitt might end up getting the starting job, transferring in from Michigan State, but this is still a team that has a lot of inexperience, not a whole lot of depth, and once again, a tough schedule to go along with it. Non-conference game against Mississippi State, a non-conference road game at Texas State with a very elite and electric offense, and then Kansas, Utah, Oklahoma State, Kansas State, Arizona, all the big-time contenders in the Big 12. Arizona State has to face. This is not going to be a good year for the Sun Devils. We're not predicting the record today, but I can just tell you it's not shaping up to be a very good season, but they can get there in time. But for the time being, they will be the worst of the 4 newcomers entering the Big 12. So guys, there you have it. Leave your thoughts below. Who is too high? Who is too low? Who are we wrong on? Who are we right on? Leave your thoughts about these 4 new teams heading into the Big 12 down in the comments below. We're going to have record predictions coming your way very, very soon. It'll be here before you know it, and we'll finally have answers on how we truly believe these teams will do. But in the meantime, let's debate down in the comments. As always, please continue to like, comment, subscribe, share our videos, and check out everything down in the description below. We've got our website, thegridironexpert.com, home of our expert picks. Do not miss out on those. One of the best offers in the country for some of the best picks in the entire country. We got our mailing address. Send us some of your team's gear. We've got a little bit of Big 12 gear in here. Got a new Kansas helmet up there. We'd love to add more. Send us your team so we can represent them in every single video, as we want you to join our GE Nation. And once again, guys, as always, thank you so much for watching, and we'll see you next time right here on The Gridiron Expert.